Hello guys, I just wanted to make a quick video on how I became psychic and how I began to channel my higher self. I think it's an interesting video, so I decided to make one. And so to jump into the video, I made some notes. Um, when I was a child, I was very open to energies and open to picking up people's thoughts and emotions, and I could really sense things. Um, I was also good, let's say when I was in grade 7, good at reading people and sort of reading their thoughts and being able to make predictions that would be accurate, although I really didn't know that this was a psychic phenomena. Um, I'd watched many documentaries, but I didn't think that I was a psychic in the sense of what the documentaries are showing me. Um, and that's how it all started. I did grow up in a very superstitious family, but then again, most people do, or most people have families that believe in one or two things that are superstitious. That could have been a contributing factor to encourage these abilities, but personally, I don't really think so. Um, when I was in high school, my perception started to open up more. I started to get, like, let's say I was in grade 9, I started to get really specific thought streams, which is something that I call like a stream of thought, like a complete thought. But these were not just any sort of thoughts. They were very wise, and they would give me insights into the future and things that were going to happen about myself, the world, and people as well. And when I was in high school, or when I was in university, I began to realize that this was my higher self talking to me. And when I was in university, all of my perceptions started to expand more, and I became more aware of, um, the psychic phenomena, guides, and higher self, and channeling, and so on and so forth. And that's how I started to sort of connect with my higher self. It sort of happened over a period of time. I don't recall any specific technique that I did apart from the fact that I did. Once I had realized that I was psychically aware, let's just say I started to read books and I started to practice my abilities and to refine them and perfect them. For me, the way things work is pretty simple. I can see people's chakras. I can turn that ability off and on. I can look into the future, and when I do, I can see images, sometimes like movies, but mostly still images and pictures and other data points that could help me extrapolate what's going on in the future or with another person. For example, when Donald Trump recently gave a speech announcing that he was going to bomb a chemical facility in Syria, in response to the Syrian government chemically attacking their own people, I already knew the day that the day that that happened, that Trump was gonna respond that way. In fact, leading up to the event where Donald Trump gave his famous speech, or well, not so much famous, but a speech that he was going to bomb Syria in response to their attack on their own people, I had already saw the podium that he'd be speaking on. I knew the suit. I knew exactly like precise details of how it was going to happen, what he was going to say, and it all played out when I was watching CNN. So those are the type of the way it works for me. I can get really specific, but they're really still images, and you have to. The way it works for me is I have to put them together. Um, yeah, that's um, yeah, and it was really interesting because even the days leading up to his official announcement, people in the news media were constantly questioning, like, what's he gonna do? What's Donald Trump gonna do? And it was kind of comical that I already knew what he was gonna do, and yet it was being played out in the media like they had no idea, and they probably legitimately didn't, but I did it, and it's really cool when things like that happen. Um, when I was in university, I became aware of my own healing abilities. I think it had to do with my ability to see chakras, and that sort of allowed me to tap into inner healing gift that we all have. I think we all have, and we all can do. In terms of channeling, all I do is really think the thought to connect to my higher self, and it happens almost instantly. When I want to channel a specific person, I just have to think about connecting with them, and there's a feeling that I get when I connect, and then all of these data points and information start happening, and I start writing them down almost spontaneously. It's like my hand take on a life of its own, and I'm able to start to do things like that. In terms of the way I use these sorts of abilities and gifts, many people call them gifts. I think they're inherent and innate in us all, but personally, I like to be practical about them in terms of making decisions, life goals, and so on and so forth. Very practical that way. And that sort of sums it all up. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below or send me a direct communication on YouTube, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. But that should really summarize, how I became a psychic and how I channel my higher self. It's, to me, a very simple process. Nothing complicated like what you would see in a documentary, for example. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great day.